How would you feel if you had to switch your house every few months because you cannot afford your current rent? How would you manage if you were forced to live in a damp, cramped, and unsafe residence because that's all you could find in your budget? That's the fate of more than 1,600 Australian citizens who endure these situations every month as they are forced into homelessness by the housing crisis. Because Australia has dangerously become one of the most expensive countries to buy a house and to rent one. Keep watching this video to find out how Australia's housing crisis is influencing people's lives and why it is a wake-up call for the world. Trust me, you can't miss this. Understanding Australia's housing crisis. Australia's housing market is encountering a number of significant challenges. To understand the intensity of the situation, it is crucial to explore the related complex factors. This housing crisis is attributed to rising property prices, decreasing housing affordability, and higher demand for accommodation. Let's delve into the details of these complex factors encouraging the housing crisis. Escalation of property prices. Recently, Australian cities like Sydney and Melbourne have earned the title of most expensive places to purchase a property globally. As per the report of CoreLogic 2021, the median home price in Sydney has reached the whopping $950,457 AUD and made it highly impossible to become a homeowner in Australia. Decreasing housing affordability. With the increasing property prices, there is a significant decline in housing affordability. The International Housing Affordability Survey 2021 shows Sydney as the second least affordable city, making it challenging for many residents to step into the housing market. Heightened accommodation demand. Like any other country, Australia's population is escalating, and in view of urbanization trends, many people are making their way into major cities. This higher demand for homes paired with limited supply has greatly upsurged the prices. By 2023, Australia will potentially require 1.7 million properties to cater to the inflated demand. Investments in properties. Australia's tax policies, including capital gains tax discounts and negative gearing, have played a vital role in increasing property investments. Consequently, many local and international investors are captivated at the cost of first-time buyers. Lesser interest rates. With low interest rates in place, borrowing has become more accessible, leading to an increase in demand. However, it has also escalated the possibility of the property bubble. These complex factors have greatly supported the situation where many Australians are forced to live on rent, unable to step into the housing market, and confronted with a wealth disparity. Repercussions on typical Australians. The Australian housing crisis isn't simply a statistic. It's a profound human experience with significant consequences for many Australians. Let's explore the everyday life of Australians while focusing on the impact of the crisis on people and families throughout the nation. Rising homelessness. The most unsettling aftermath of this housing crisis is the increase in homelessness. According to the 2021 report of Homelessness Australia, there were around 116,000 individuals who were forced to live on the streets. These aren't just the numbers, they are actual humans who struggle daily to find shelter, food, and safety. Generational wealth disparity. The dream of becoming a homeowner is the holy grail for many Australians. However, for many young Australians, this dream will never come true. Considering the high property prices, many millennials already find it impossible to enter the housing market, resulting in generational wealth disparity. It extends beyond a financial concern. It's a matter of emotional significance as those young folks accept the harsh reality of never being able to buy a home. First-time buyers. Even when individuals have the financial capacity to make a down payment, achieving home ownership remains a formidable challenge. Consequently, first-time buyers often find themselves disheartened as they are outbid by investors, and securing a mortgage becomes an unattainable goal. Emotional and mental health. The pressure of achieving a house in Australia greatly impacts the mental health of individuals and families. The worry about housing prices, the unpredictability of rental agreements, and the fear of expulsion leave many Australians with increased stress levels and reduced quality of life. How Australia's housing crisis is influencing the globe. While Australia's housing crisis is already affecting the lives of residents, it's also a huge threat to the world. Let's discuss how this housing crisis is creating global repercussions, making waves in economies and international housing markets, and causing troubles for foreign investors. Foreign investors. Australia has undoubtedly been a favorite destination for foreign investors, and its huge share of real estate is purchased by many foreign investors. This infinite stream of foreign capital not only inflated the housing prices, but also exposed the country to external economic shocks. Economic casual sequence. Australia's housing crisis isn't confined to the nation. It is intricately entwined with the global economy. With a massive $1.7 trillion invested in the housing market, any unforeseen decline could reverberate through the international financial markets, causing turbulence on a global scale. The deep connection of the world economy with the Australian housing market demonstrates how a sudden slight downturn can shake the entire global market. Effect of migration. This housing crisis also encourages the migration of the residents. Since housing prices seem impossible to bear, many Australians may consider affordable international opportunities. This in turn affects the other countries' economies, housing markets, and labour force, altering everything from local real estate prices to job markets. Lesson for other countries. Australia's housing crisis is something to learn from. Many nations can take precautions by looking at Australia's housing crisis. It demonstrates the repercussions of uncontrolled property markets, foreign investment, and failure to execute affordable housing policies. International governments can and should learn from the current situation in Australia and ensure the stability of their own housing markets. The need for new housing models. The current crisis also emphasizes the dire need for new housing models. With the growth of urbanization, affordable housing models become foremost. Other countries have the option for alternative housing solutions like co-housing and micro-apartments. Challenges in policy and potential remedies. The housing crisis isn't merely an aftermath of foreign forces in the housing market, but also the result of failure in policy. Here, we will discover the major flaws in the existing policies and how to help relieve the crisis. Negative gearing and capital gains tax discounts. The biggest misstep in the policy is the tax incentives that encourage foreign investment. This lets the investor have tax breaks. With negative gearing, investors can easily diminish the payable taxes by exploiting the losses from their rental properties. On the other hand, capital gains tax discount makes it an easy job for investors to sell their purchased properties. While the aim of this policy was to promote home ownership and investment, it has the unintended consequence of higher property prices, making housing highly unaffordable for a number of Australians. Absence of economical housing. The inadequacy of economic housing has become a significant issue. The government has tried making efforts to incite housing construction, but its sole focus is market-driven housing and not social and economic housing. It is paramount to develop housing solutions that are equally available to low and middle-income individuals. Control of foreign investment. Australia's property market is highly influenced by the considerable foreign investment. The government must execute regulations to ensure that housing prices aren't too inflated, making it even harder for locals to buy a home in their own country. While the measures have been already taken, it is crucial to introduce even better policies to strike the right balance. Stabilization of rental prices. Australian renters encounter ever-escalating rents and an unforeseeable rental market. In order to stabilize the rental prices, the government should consider introducing a policy like rent control and tenant protection. Such a policy can readily maintain rental prices while ensuring tenant protection in terms of secure and fair leasing agreements. Australia's housing crisis acts as a never-ending reminder that the housing market can be a potential threat not only on a national level, but globally too. The effects of this crisis extend beyond the statistics, impacting the daily lives of Australians while presenting a risk to the world's economic stability. Only policymakers can aid in alleviating the housing crisis by introducing strong and better housing policies. With that, let's end this video right here. If you liked watching this video, give it a thumbs up, comment down your thoughts, and don't forget to hit the subscribe and bell icon buttons to stay updated with our latest content.